When I first started my ESL journey, I felt completely lost. I had just moved to Canada from Brazil, and I barely understood anything. People spoke so fast. Their words seemed to fly past my ears like birds I couldn't catch. At the grocery store, someone asked, "Paper or plastic?" I froze. I didn't know what they meant. I just smiled and nodded. Back home, I cried. I had studied English for years, but real conversations were different. I could read well, but listening and speaking, that was another world. I started to doubt myself. Maybe I would never become fluent. But one evening, I decided to change. I wrote in my journal, "No more fear. I will learn this language." I found an old notebook and wrote down the phrase, "From confused to confident." That became my goal. I began small. I listened to slow English podcasts while walking. I repeated sentences aloud. "How are you today?" "I'm doing well. Thank you." I practiced daily. Even if it was only for 10 minutes. Soon, I noticed something. I was no longer afraid of English. I still didn't understand everything, but I was trying. I was improving. I wasn't fluent yet, but I was no longer confused all the time. That was the first victory on my ESL journey. Every morning, I followed a simple routine. After brushing my teeth, I listened to 10 minutes of English audio. It could be a podcast, a YouTube story, or even a motivational speech. I didn't worry if I didn't understand every word. The goal was exposure. After listening, I wrote down 3 new words. I used them in sentences. I would say them aloud while walking or cooking. This daily habit helped me build vocabulary naturally. At lunchtime, I watched a 5-minute English video with subtitles. I paused after each sentence and repeated it. I mimicked the speaker's tone and pronunciation. It felt silly at first. But it worked. I was training my ears and mouth. In the evening, I wrote short journal entries in English. I used the words I learned during the day. Sometimes the sentences were simple. Today I made soup. It was tasty. But it was real. It was mine. Over time, my confidence grew. One day, I spoke to a neighbor. Hi. How are you? She smiled and replied. I didn't understand everything. But I answered. I'm learning English. She said. You're doing great. That comment meant the world to me. It showed me that progress wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying every day. This routine became the backbone of my ESL journey. Small actions. Done daily. Built something big. One afternoon, I was in the library when a woman asked, "Do you know where the study rooms are?" I paused. My heart beat fast. This was it. A real English conversation. I smiled and said, "Yes." Upstairs. Near the window. She thanked me and walked away. I stood there. Surprised. I had answered. I had spoken clearly. And she understood me. It was only one sentence. But it changed everything. That evening, I recorded myself speaking. Today, I helped someone in English. I listened to the recording. My voice was unsure. But it was strong. I was proud. I started recording myself more often. I would read a story. Describe my day. Or answer common questions like, what do you do on weekends? Listening to myself helped me hear my mistakes. It also helped me celebrate my progress. Soon, I joined a free online ESL group. Every Sunday, We practiced speaking. I met learners from Mexico, Turkey, Nigeria, and Vietnam. We made mistakes together. We laughed a lot. One of my new friends, Aisha, told me, "You speak so clearly." I was shocked. Just months ago, I could barely answer simple questions. Now I was helping others feel more confident. That first conversation in the library became a turning point. It showed me that I was no longer a beginner. I was becoming a speaker. As my ESL journey continued, I saw changes everywhere. I no longer avoided phone calls. I ordered food with ease. I even called my internet company and explained a problem. In English. Of course. I still made mistakes. Sometimes I forgot words. Sometimes people didn't understand me. But I stopped feeling embarrassed. Mistakes were part of learning. I started doing more in English. I read short books. Watched movies without subtitles. And followed English-speaking YouTubers. I laughed at jokes. I understood stories. I even cried while watching an emotional English movie. Language was no longer a wall. It was a bridge. One day, I gave a small presentation at my ESL school. My topic was my language learning tips. I shared how routines, confidence, and daily speaking helped me grow. When I finished, my classmates clapped. That moment felt like a dream. I had gone from silent to confident. At work, I also began to use English more. I asked questions during meetings. I joined small conversations at lunch. My coworkers encouraged me. They noticed my progress. Confidence. I realized, didn't come from being perfect. It came from being brave. My ESL journey had become a life journey. It wasn't just about English anymore. It was about believing in myself. Now, I help other ESL learners. I remember how hard the beginning was. The fear. The confusion. The tears. I tell them, you are not alone. I share my story online. I post simple videos. How to start an English routine. How to practice listening. How to grow your vocabulary. People write to me. Thank you. You gave me hope. Those messages make me emotional. I know how it feels to be stuck. I volunteer at a local community center. I help new immigrants practice conversation. I use the same method that helped me. Slow. Patient speaking. With encouragement. One woman. Zara. Told me. I thought I was stupid. But you showed me I can learn. I hugged her and said, you are smart. English is just one part of the journey. Helping others has deepened my own learning. When I teach, I grow. When I listen, I understand better. Today, I am still learning. I still make mistakes. But I am no longer afraid. I am confident. I am fluent. I am free. My ESL journey started with confusion but led to strength. From lost to found. From shy to bold. And now, I pass the light to others. So they too can go from confused to confident. Vocabulary highlights. Exposure. Contact with something to become familiar with it. Routine. A regular way of doing things. Mimic. To copy the way someone speaks or acts. Subtitles. Written text of what people say in videos. Journal. A notebook where you write your thoughts. Confident. Feeling sure of yourself. Presentation. A talk you give to others. Beginner. Someone who is just starting to learn. Volunteer. To offer help without payment. Fluent. Able to speak a language easily and well.